Let's talk about money. There's an old saying that it's best to avoid discussing money, sex, politics, and religion in public. Well, let's talk about money because I think it's a subject often not spoken about. But I think it's a fascinating subject. I think it points towards our relation with ourselves in so many ways. I think our relation with ourselves is entwined with our relationship with money. And I've been on quite a journey relation with money over the decades, and related with myself as well. So let's look at money and see what we can learn about ourselves through our relationship with money. I think money is a very interesting subject, and often a subject not really spoken about. I guess they say it's like politics and money and sex is not subjects you bring up in everyday conversation. But I think it's an interesting subject, and I've been on a bit of a journey of my relationship with money over the years. And I think it's an interesting subject because I think it can be an external representation of our self-worth. Our relationship with money can say a lot about our relationship with ourselves. So I want to share some of my experiences and things I've learned that hopefully will serve you. I think I started at the beginning as, I grew up in a house that had fairly stable income. My mum was a teacher all her working life. I guess quite a middle class upbringing in the suburbs of London. I remember a time my father was made redundant and money was much tighter. And I think my mum worried about money. She was very careful and frugal with money to a certain extent. Was never frivolous about things, but very careful. And I guess we had enough. We didn't go on international holidays back then. Not many people did, really. I think some of the more wealthy families maybe done, but it wasn't the norm. Our summer holidays were spent on the Isle of Wight staying with family, and very happy memories. And one of the things I think I learned about money growing up was, I guess it was security. My mum very much stayed in her career. I think she obviously enjoyed it. But one of the things was having a good, safe job with a good pension. And I think she struggled when I left my corporate life to pursue being a therapist, being self-employed. She couldn't understand. It's just an alien concept for her to walk away from a successful corporate career to do something which probably didn't pay as well. And also wasn't, I guess, her mind as secure, didn't find a nice pension, etc., etc. When I was in my corporate job, I wasn't aware of my relationship with money. It's interesting how these subtle undercurrents can be that we're not aware of it until something drastically changes. When I had a good income coming in, we always had enough. Always had kind of more than enough end of the month saved kind of very well. But looking back, I can see how I hoarded it. I was almost scared to spend it. It felt really frivolous to spend money on myself. Remember, we're going through infertility and I was struggling, to find a sense of purpose in life and wasn't really content at work. And cut a long story short, Follow My Bliss became my mantra, and I wanted to get into try some photography. And my grandmother passed away and left us a little bit of money, and I bought a digital SLR camera. It felt like quite a big investment back then at the time. And I think I justified it by my grandmother left this money, and even though I had the money in the bank to pay for the camera, I justified it by having this money, and it'd be a good way of capturing new memories. So I hoarded out of fear. And we budgeted. When we first got married, I set up the most convoluted spreadsheet you've ever seen in your life. And back then, computers took a long time to boot up, and I expected my wife and I to write down everything we'd spent and put it in the right category. There are many different categories. There are categories for budgeting for future expenditure like car maintenance and servicing in the future. And it was quite an incredible beast of a spreadsheet. And actually, what's interesting, we now budget now using an app called You Need a Budget, YNAB, and we just absolutely love it for all sorts of reasons. And I can look at it and that's my spreadsheet. It's my spreadsheet in an app form. I think I was ahead of my time. The principles were kind of all there in my kind of convoluted spreadsheet, but actually it was coming from fear. It was fear of running out of money, even though that wasn't a real fear, it wasn't a necessary fear. And it was so complex and coming from fear. My wife just got fed up of doing it. She said, I don't want to be strangled by this fear anymore. We're just going to stop doing it. And we went the other way and we didn't budget for many, many years. And I think, again, that was always because we're coming from fear and it was feeding the fear. Now we've almost shifted our relationship with money in so many ways. We do budget from very different places, not from a place of fear. Even though in many ways income's less kind of predictable being self-employed, it's not coming from a place of fear. It's almost putting some conscious awareness into where we're spending our money energy. It's very easy the money to just fritter away and spend more money on cafes and things, get to the end of the month and realise actually we didn't do the things we really wanted to do. We're not saving for those things we really want to be doing. So it's not coming from a place of fear or lack. It's more just bringing some conscious awareness of where we want to spend our money energy. And we can change it along the month. We can move money from one budget to another if we want to, but it's more bringing some more conscious awareness and choice rather than fear. It's a very different mindset we're bringing to it. Actually, in a way, it's essentially the same activity. And it's really serving us. So it's interesting how our relationship with budgeting has completely changed because we moved from fear, away from fear. So I left corporate life and this secure income, and I hadn't realised how much my sense of security was tied up in my job. Then I became self-employed in an industry, completely new industry, never run a business before, never had to create my own clients before, whole new world. And it was terrifying. Just had a baby as well. It was terrifying. It felt like jumping off a cliff and trusting I was going to find my wings. As savings just dropping down and down, living off savings as I started a new business. And I went on a 3-day kind of workshop around the psychology of money. And one of the things in that workshop, the guy leading it read presiding a quote from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And it's when Charlie finds the ticket, the golden ticket, he takes it home and they're all very excited and he said, I'm going to sell it because we need the money. And Grandpa Joe says to him, only 4 will sell that ticket. There's only 5 of those tickets. Then printing money every day, only 4 will sell that ticket. And as I sat and listened to that quote, I started to cry. Because it helped me see that actually the journey I'm on, I was really proud. I felt it was the right journey. It confirmed that in the past, I think I sold myself out for financial security. That job really wasn't me. I'm on a journey, a mission a quest to get paid for being me. There's only one of me. Don't sell myself out for money. And it was really encouraging me to continue this journey, despite how scary it was. So it's letting go of the fear of financial security. And I realized I had to recognize my value. My value was a direct correlation to my income. And I've had coaching and therapy along the way to support me on that. One of my biggest fears was not being able to pay my bills, not being able to house my family. And there was a time I couldn't afford to do that. There was a time we moved in with family as I was building my business. And then we got an unexpected tax bill. Ironically, it was much higher than I expected. Ironically, so I meant I earned more money than I had realised, but didn't have the money to pay the bill because my cash flow management was useless. That terrified me. And I rang HMRC thinking I don't know what to do. I just haven't got the money. It did feel like going to the headmaster's office, getting my knuckles wrapped, and they said, okay, you can do a payment plan. I was expecting maybe 12 months. They said, no, 3 months. I think I could have negotiated longer. I didn't realise at the time. That meant I had to find another almost £2,500 a month over the next 3 months on top of what I needed to earn to live. Terrified. But what's interesting is I did it. I did it. I stepped up. Created the clients, created the work I needed to pay it. And I was thinking, well, if I can do that, because I had to, then why can't I continue to have that higher income? And I did. It became a step change. It was almost that commitment to myself, to my family, to create that income. I stepped up. I created it. And it really highlighted again how it's my thinking about myself is a direct correlation to what income I create. Saving was an interesting one. When I had a secure income from a corporate job, yeah, we had money end of the month, we had savings. We used to commit to savings, a direct debit to a savings account. When I started out, I couldn't afford to pay the bills, I couldn't afford to save. The idea was when I'm earning enough, there's a bit spare at the end of the month, that would go to savings. Then I realised, no, it has to be a commitment. So I set up a direct debit, just a small direct debit. I don't know what it was, 50 quid or something. Went out kind of middle of the month. I never noticed at the end of the month, but we were saving. And now I follow a concept called profit first. I build in profit into my business. I build in profit. It's like paying yourself first. It's recognizing your value. So money is an external representation of our worth. If you think about what money is, before we had paper money and now plastic and coins, and now just digital, numbers on a computer system. But before all that, someone would have some sheep and they wanted maybe some cows. But the person with the cows didn't want sheep, so that they wanted some wheat. So the person with the sheep, they find someone who got some wheat but wanted cow. It's just a very complex trading system, and money makes that all so much easier. Money is a representation of value we bring into the world. It's a representation of the value we bring into the world. And the more we see our value, the more we have a different relationship with money. There's no fear of loss. I guess it's a binary mindset of abundance or lack. So either abundance or lack. I very much had a lack mentality. And it was rooted in a lack of love, fear of loss of love. Because love felt very conditional as a child. It didn't feel abundant. But I had to earn it. It was hard work. And that's what money can feel like. You have to earn its hard work. Can't be easy. All these stories about money that came from a lack mentality that was rooted in a lack of love, lack of worthiness, lack of lovability. And that lack mentality, that not enoughness, can shape all areas of life. Fear of not enough love, time, energy, money. That's a lack mentality. Rather than abundance of love. Whatever happens will be okay. Our security, our worthiness is not dependent on money. Our security and our worth is not dependent on money. So it comes down to love. I think money is energy, love is energy. It comes down to our relationship with love. I just want to leave you with some quick-fire questions to maybe prompt to explore your own relationship with money. So I'm going to read these statements and just notice what it prompts within you, what your immediate answer would be to these questions. Money is. People who have money are. If I had more money, I would. People with money got that way by. The problem with money is My parents always thought money would. I don't have more money because having money means the problem with people with money is when I have more money, I'll be able to. And sometimes those questions can prompt the stories we have around money that keep us trapped. So I want you to be curious about that. What are the stories you have around money? One thing you can look at, what is your perfect, imperfect system when it comes to money? Sometimes we have these perfect, imperfect systems that keep us trapped. So for me, I was scared of opening my bank statements. I didn't want to open them. I didn't look at the numbers. It's not helpful. I didn't save. Didn't have that commitment to saving. Investing, oh, don't do that. Leave it in the bank. Don't take any risk. We have sometimes these perfect, imperfect systems that keep us stuck and keep us trapped. So perhaps you can look at, what is your perfect, imperfect system around money that keeps you stuck around money? What are the stories around money that actually are the stories around yourself? Your worthiness, your lovability. What limiting beliefs, perhaps, impact your enoughness? Whether it is love, money, or even time or energy. My wish for you is to know that you live in a world of abundance. You're lovable for who you are. You can never be out of love or be rejected of love because you are love. You're love in human form. Nothing can take that away from you. Nothing can take that away from you. And for me, that's the source, that's the root of a more, healthy, fruitful, growing relationship with ourselves and money. So just be curious about your relationship with money, what it actually points to your relationship with yourself. And my wish for you is you can see you live in a life of abundance. Loving you.